What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be taking a look at this guy. This is the Tepe Designs Hornet 2.0. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everybody. Okay, as usual, this knife was provided to the channel by my wonderful friend, Stud Fishing. Ryan has been a wonderful support to the channel. We love him dearly. Matter of fact, I want to be him because he is really good at what he does as far as buy, sell, trade, and he's got a wonderful collection, and a lot of them you have seen on the channel. This is the newest one that he sent whenever he sent the Vero Engineering Impulse my way. Look at this beauty. This is, of course, the Tepe Designs Hornet 2.0. I believe the 1.0 was a smaller version and the 2.0 is a bigger version. And so, yes, this is a Kyle-sized knife. It's a big one. I don't know what is going on with my camera. Get over and get halfway centered. It's going to move this way in a minute. But really, really nice design. I have never handled a Tepe design knife before. This one is a little bit more special. This one is in this freaking awesome lava fat carbon fiber. Just look at that stuff. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Oh, it's so beautiful. These special reserves, they only made, like, this is one of 6 that you can get in this configuration. Crazy. So, yeah, these are a little bit more expensive than the ones that you can buy from Tepe Designs. But, you know, the reason these are more expensive is because this carbon fiber is expensive. It's expensive to do, and they're all hand finished. They're all hand done, these scales. So very, very nice. I have really, really enjoyed this. So what do we have? Of course, we have the lava fat carbon scales, which really makes this and sets this knife apart. There's only 6 of them out there, but they do have other colors. I think there was a blue, a green, a gold, a purple maybe. This one, of course, being the lava, which is definitely probably the one I would have picked. Either this one or the gold, because the gold looks sick. It was pretty sweet. But you have an M390 blade, which big old chunk of M390, and look at that blade shape. That's kind of interesting. In fact, focus. Focus. Maybe sometime. Look at that. That is wicked looking. Like 3 little scoops there. So very interesting blade shape. And I like it. It's just so different that it took me a while to kind of get used to it. I've seen some other designs from like Gafco that have a similar blade shape. It is different, but a similar blade shape. But it really is nice. I like the way it looks. It is M390 and it has a high saber grind, which comes down to like 19 thousandths behind the edge. So it cut very, very nice. Does have jimping right here on the blade where your thumb lands. And then that is it as far as jimping. There is no jimping on the flipper tab, but it is nice and rounded off. So very well put together. It is centered right down the middle. As far as other materials, I mean, you have steel liners, I believe, in their inset. And then you have a titanium pocket clip with really, really cool ceramic ball for the pocket clip. And I've got to tell you, I really like that design. The only other knife I've ever had that had the ceramic ball in the pocket clip was the Todd Big Bodega, and it works amazingly, and so does this one. Feels really good going in and out of pocket, good retention, it sits well, it's a very thin pocket clip, doesn't sit all that deep, but it sits deep enough, I think, for most people. This was very comfortable to carry, a little wide here, but you guys know me, this is small compared to some of the other knives that I carry. The action, So this is a flipper. You see that? I mean, come down, the flipper tab, hit your fingernail, and then there's nothing. No resistance. This thing is a fall shut guillotine. The detent on this is really nice. I had another knife that the flipper tab was a little bit lazy, but it had a hole, and the thumb hole or the finger hole worked really good. This one both do. The detent on this guy is really, really nice for the flipper, and for the reverse flick, which is how I usually deploy my knives. It really just makes it more fidgety. And with this fall shut action, blah, 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 it is so much fun. I love it, and you guys know that. As far as being like a left-handed or whatever, might be a little bit more dangerous. But I've started to do this kind of now, thinking about lefties because of my good friend Lefty EDC, Kevin, and my brother is left-handed. So now I got, with what he's saying about how he carries his knife left-handed about certain things, it makes me think about my brother. My bro lives up in Wyoming. Shout out, Kirk. But because this thing is a internal lock, see how the nested liners are? Maybe it's black. It's a black anodize, I guess. So it's kind of hard to see on the camera. But that internal liner lock works really well. It's very easy to get your finger in there, get it out of the way. The hardware is nice. I think I would have probably liked to have seen black hardware on this because it almost seems like it doesn't fit with the satin hardware. Maybe I'm crazy, and it's probably all just personal preference. Black hardware, I think, would have been nice. You see the butt end of this knife has a lanyard pin, and that really cool fat carbon fiber backspacer that's there. I like the fact that they put that on there because there are people out there that like lanyard holes or lanyards. I don't like them on all my knives, but I have them on some. So, it's just to each of their own. But as you can see in my hand, it fits really, really well. I have XL large hands, big old fat meat hooks here, and it fits really well in the hand. My thumb lands right there on that jimping. Would I rather have a finger troll on this knife? But that's me, and I like to have finger trolls on all my knives. But ergonomically, this thing feels really, really good. It feels the hand. It is not too thick this way. These G10 or the carbon fiber is just kind of slightly contoured, so it feels the hand really, really nice. And I really like the grip that I get on this guy. It's very comfortable. If I want to choke up and get really well behind the knife, this little first swoop right here allows me to get right behind that blade and be able to do some major cuts. Not that I have done that with this knife because it's not my knife, but I did do some cutting with it because Ryan, Stud Fishing, he lets me use them. I mean, I just do the regular EDC task, which is basically cutting paper, opening packages, stuff like that. And it works really, really well. This thing was very fun to fidget with because of the deployment methods and the action. And so I am so happy that he sent this along. This is quality. This is the first time I have experienced Tepe designs, and I'm a fan. I'm going to have to look and see about getting some more on the channel because, yeah, I am really, really interested in this thing, and it was really amazing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get behind the camera. We're going to do some size comparisons to get a closer look at this beautiful, beautiful blade. All right, let's take a real good look at this carbon fiber. Ooh, man. Oh, this stuff is expensive to buy and to make, so that definitely adds to the cost. You have a price difference between the regular ones and the special reserve ones due to this very well done carbon fiber that is hand done. It's I think $250 for the regular and like $450 for the special reserve. So yeah, big, huge price difference. But like I said, you only got 6 of these that are made in I think each color variation. So he picked this thing up, and yeah, 1 of 6. That's pretty cool if you are a collector, especially. But the knife itself, you have a blasted finish on this blade. Really nice. I prefer satin finishes on my blades, but I really dig the way this looks. And usually the reason I like satin blades is because the blasted blades usually show scratches better. But I mean, this one doesn't look bad at all. Very, very nicely finished. The jimping on the back side here is done really well. Not sharp, but grippy. It does have chamfering along the edges, but it's barely, and it kind of goes off here. And then it gets a little bit sharper on these edges, which are not bad because I'm not putting my fingers up here. I mean, I guess you probably could to do this kind of thing, pinch grip. But as far as up here where your thumb might go, it is very much rounded off. The edges of the carbon fiber are, the back spacer, all this, no really sharp areas to speak of at all. So that definitely contributes to the ergonomics. What are the specs on this guy? Well, it is Bowler M390, like I said, and it is a 9-inch knife. 9 inches, so it is quite large for most people. Full size for me, large for most. 4-inch blade. I love a 4-inch blade. And then, of course, it has a 5-inch handle length. It's about 160 thousandths blade stock, and it comes down to about 19 thousandths behind the edge. So, big knife, but it slices very, very well. Let's put it up against some other ones. So here it is against the Spyderco PM2. And as you can see, the Spyderco PM2 is just, of course, much smaller than this guy. As far as the carry profile, you know, because this one has the swoop or the hole deployment there, and so does this one. The carry profile on these is about the same. This actually, the Tepe might be just a little bit longer or wider here because of the design of the blade, but it's not terrible. So, you know, if you're used to carrying the PM2, then this right here shouldn't be that big of a problem. The handle on the PM2 is obviously a lot longer than the blade. You get so much more blade length with the Tepe. Let's put it up against another longer knife. Here it is against the Spartan Harsey folder. So overall length is pretty close. It's a little bit hard to tell with the angle of the camera here. So that is pretty close as far as overall length. And then, of course, another one that people say is large, but I think is the perfect size, is the Koenig Arius. So as you can see, the Tepe is dwarfing the Arius by a little bit. I say dwarfing. It is definitely smaller than the Tepe. The Tepe is a big one. It's just all there is to it. But with the handle length and the neutral handles, it makes it for great ergonomics. These are the kind of ergonomics that I usually like, where it swells out the back. It helps me out with my big old fat hands. But it's one of those things that, you know, I think more people are going to like this particular kind of handle shape because it is so neutral. It's very, very comfortable. I don't feel, you know, with this stabbing chores or stabbing task, you're not going to come up on the blade because of this. Like I said, the contouring just feels really good. There is no hot spot on the pocket clip. The pocket clip is done so freaking well with that ceramic ball. Look at that. It's beautiful and it works. I just really like it when companies do that. It really makes me happy. So I love this knife. I really appreciate Stud Fishing for allowing me to check it out, because I had never really checked out a Tepe design, and now I'm really interested in checking out some of his other stuff because I'm a fan. I love hole deployment. I love the flipping action. The D10 is tuned very well for this, having both deployments, you know, which is actually really hard to do. Would I chase down the special reserve for the price? I'm not sure. I am such a big fan of this fat carbon fiber, though. It's very, very tempting because it looks gorgeous. Just looks like anything. It looks like nothing else that you can get. So I am a huge fan of that. Stud, you are the man. I love you so very much. You are just so awesome to allow me to check out all these big, beautiful knives. And yeah, you're just, I want you to marry my daughter. Anyways, guys, stay safe in this crazy world that we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.